En la clase de hoy vamos a aprender inglés de una manera sencilla y divertida. Vamos a escuchar y leer 4 historias diferentes en inglés. La idea es que te vayas familiarizando con el idioma, escuchando y leyendo todo en inglés. Todas las palabras que no entiendas, escríbelas en tu cuaderno para posteriormente traducirlas. Verás que si eres constante con este método, verás grandes resultados. Sin nada más que decir, comencemos.
On a dark and stormy night, the presidential house was silent. All the guards were at their posts, watching every corner of the building. However, no one suspected that the most daring heist in the country's history would take place that night. The president, a man known for his integrity and dedication, had recently received a valuable gift, an ancient jewel that had belonged to a king from a distant land. This jewel, known as the Dragon's Heart, was kept in a safe in his personal office. At 2 in the morning, a group of highly trained thieves infiltrated the presidential house. Led by a man known only as the Fox, the thieves had planned the heist for months. They knew every detail of the building's security and were prepared for any eventuality. The Fox and his team disabled the alarms and neutralized the guards without making a sound. They moved with the precision of a Swiss watch, each knowing exactly what to do. They reached the president's office and began working on the safe. Meanwhile, in a nearby room, the president woke up to a faint noise. Suspecting something was wrong, he got up and headed to his office. Upon arrival, he saw the thieves working on the safe. Without losing his composure, the president activated a silent alarm that alerted the police. The Fox, realizing that time was running out, sped up the process. Finally, they managed to open the safe and take the jewel. However, just as they were about to escape, the police arrived and surrounded the building. The Fox, showing his cunning, used a series of underground tunnels he had discovered during his planning. Guiding his team through the tunnels, they managed to escape the presidential house without being caught. The police, finding no trace of the thieves, began an intense search throughout the city. The president, although relieved that no one was hurt, was determined to recover the jewel. He offered a substantial reward for any information leading to the capture of the thieves. Days later, a tip led the police to an abandoned warehouse on the outskirts of the city. Upon arrival, they found the Fox and his team celebrating their success. After a brief confrontation, the thieves were arrested, and the jewel was recovered. The president, grateful for the police's work, organized a ceremony to return the Dragon's Heart to its place in the presidential house. The story of the heist became legend, and the Fox was remembered as one of the most cunning thieves in history. In a quiet corner of the forest, there was a lake known as Emerald Lake. This lake was famous for its crystal-clear waters and serene surroundings. On its shores lived 3 turtle friends, Tula, Tito, and Tino. The 3 turtles were inseparable and shared a love for adventure and exploration. One day, while exploring an unknown part of the lake, Tula found an old scroll buried under a rock. The scroll was worn and almost illegible, but Tula could make out a map leading to a mysterious place deep in the forest. Intrigued by the discovery, Tula showed the map to Tito and Tino, and together they decided to follow it to uncover its secrets. The journey was not easy. First, they had to cross a raging river using a log as a bridge. Then, they encountered a group of frogs who asked them to solve a riddle to let them pass. What has a head, a tail, but no body? Tino thought for a moment and answered, a coin. The frogs, impressed, let them continue. Further ahead, the turtles had to traverse a dark cave filled with bats. Using torches they had found along the way, they proceeded cautiously. Finally, they reached a clearing in the forest, where the map indicated the destination. In the center of the clearing stood an ancient tree with a secret door. Without a second thought, Tula opened the door and entered. Inside, they found a tunnel that led to an underground cave filled with ancient treasures. There were gold coins, jewels, and mysterious artifacts. But what caught Tula's attention the most was a shining crystal that emitted a warm light. Suddenly, a figure appeared before them. It was the spirit of the lake, an ancient guardian who had been waiting for someone worthy to find the crystal. "Welcome, Tula, Tito, and Tino," said the guardian. "You have shown bravery and wisdom to reach this place. This crystal has the power to protect the lake and all its inhabitants. Use it wisely." The turtles, moved by the responsibility, accepted the crystal and promised to protect the lake. From that day on, Tula, Tito, and Tino became the guardians of Emerald Lake, using the crystal's power to maintain peace and harmony. The animals of the lake respected them and came to them for advice and help. The adventures of the three turtles became legend, and their story was told from generation to generation. The lake flourished under their protection, and Tula, Tito, and Tino lived a life full of adventures and friendship. In the vast plains of Africa, there was a magical place known as the Golden Forest. This forest was unique, with tall trees whose leaves shone like gold under the sunlight. In this place lived a herd of giraffes, led by a wise and brave giraffe named Gala. Gala was known for her intelligence and her ability to guide the herd through challenges. One day, while exploring an unknown part of the forest, Gala found an old scroll buried under a fallen tree. The scroll was worn and almost illegible, but Gala could make out a map leading to a mysterious place deep in the forest. Intrigued by the discovery, Gala decided to follow the map and uncover its secrets. She gathered the bravest giraffes of the herd and explained her plan. Together, they set out at dawn. The journey was not easy. First, they had to cross a raging river using a log as a bridge. Then, they encountered a group of monkeys who asked them to solve a riddle to let them pass. "What has a head, a tail, but no body?" Gala thought for a moment and answered, "A coin." The monkeys, impressed, let them continue. Further ahead, the giraffes had to traverse a dark cave filled with bats. Using torches they had found along the way, they proceeded cautiously. Finally, they reached a clearing in the forest where the map indicated the destination. In the center of the clearing stood an ancient tree with a secret door. Without a second thought, Gala opened the door and entered. Inside, she found a tunnel that led to an underground cave filled with ancient treasures. There were gold coins, jewels, and mysterious artifacts. But what caught Gala's attention the most was a shining crystal that emitted a warm light. Suddenly, a figure appeared before her. It was the spirit of the forest, an ancient guardian who had been waiting for someone worthy to find the crystal. "Welcome, Gala," said the guardian. "You have shown bravery and wisdom to reach this place. This crystal has the power to protect the forest and all its inhabitants. Use it wisely." Gala, moved by the responsibility, accepted the crystal and promised to protect the forest. From that day on, Gala became the guardian of the forest, using the crystal's power to maintain peace and harmony. The giraffes and other animals of the forest respected her and came to her for advice and help. Gala's adventures became legend, and her story was told from generation to generation. The forest flourished under her protection, and Gala lived a life full of adventures and friendship. In a vast meadow, there lived a herd of horses known for their speed and grace. Among them were two young and brave horses named Star and Wind. Star was a mare with snow-white fur, while Wind was a stallion with jet-black fur. They were inseparable and shared a dream, to win the annual Great Race of the Meadow. The Great Race was an event eagerly awaited by all the animals in the meadow. The fastest horses in the region gathered to compete and showcase their skills. Star and Wind had trained for months, running through fields and jumping over rivers, preparing for the big day. Finally, the day of the race arrived. The sun shone high in the sky, and a fresh breeze blew across the meadow. The horses lined up at the starting line, their hearts pounding with anticipation. Among the competitors was a horse named Thunder, known for his speed and arrogance. Thunder looked at Star and Wind with disdain, confident of his victory. The sound of a horn marked the start of the race. The horses shot off, their hooves pounding the ground with force. Star and Wind ran side by side, their bodies moving in perfect sync. Thunder led the race, but Star and Wind did not give up. As they advanced, the terrain became more challenging. There were steep hills and rushing rivers to cross. Star and Wind helped each other, jumping obstacles and keeping pace. Thunder, confident in his speed, paid no attention to the challenges of the path. At a crucial moment, Thunder stumbled over a rock and fell to the ground. Star and Wind seized the opportunity and overtook him. The crowd roared with excitement as the two young horses led the race. With the wind in their manes and determination in their eyes, Star and Wind crossed the finish line together, tied for first place. The meadow erupted in cheers and applause. Star and Wind had shown that true strength lies not only in speed, but also in cooperation and friendship. Thunder, humbled but impressed by their bravery, approached to congratulate them. From that day on, Star and Wind were known as the bravest horses in the meadow. Their story became a legend, inspiring generations of horses to work together and never give up in the face of challenges. The annual Great Race became a symbol of unity and sportsmanship, reminding everyone that true victory lies in the heart.
Espero de todo corazón que esta clase te haya gustado. Si es así, regálame un like y suscríbete al canal, que en verdad me ayudarías bastante. Y para todos los estudiantes que se quedaron hasta el final, les tengo un regalo. Debajo de este video encontrarán una clase de inglés desde cero totalmente gratuita. El link para esta clase estará en la descripción del video o en el comentario fijado. También te recomiendo que veas este otro video donde aprenderás inglés con una historia muy interesante, súper divertida. Entonces te espero ahí, no te lo puedes perder.